was reflective practice for a better you. Well, I believe in this better you business. What do I believe in that as? I believe that each one of us is and should be interested every minute of the day in bettering ourselves, in improving ourselves. That should be our agenda. In however, nano particle way we can improve, it's important that we are a better person, better professional, better teacher, better learner, better whatever you are trying to be. Whether you are trying to be a better human being, that is the most important thing, right? So we need to be looking at how do we improve ourselves. So we all know it's a lifelong process. I don't think anyone disagrees on this. Even though sometimes we may forget that it is a lifelong process. Some people think, oh, I have done with my learning. I have got all these degrees. I have got all this, including a PhD, or even some people have a double PhD also. I have done teaching for, like, if I look at myself, well, I have done teaching for more than 42 years. What is there to learn? No, there is so much to learn. There is so much for improvement. So that should be our, I would say, approach or attitude towards learning, that it is a lifelong process. And the important thing is, somebody thinks, oh, you are, at least I am, not all of you are, I am on the wrong side of 60, I've crossed 60. So is there a need for, is it too late for improvement? I don't think so. Young, I have a granddaughter who is 1 year old. I don't think it's too early to start improving oneself. We try to see that she improves herself every day. So it's never too early, never too late for improvement. That's our belief in this whole idea of reflective practice. So now let us look at what things help us and why should we be concerned with this personal development. Right? Is it important? Yes, it is important, because as all of you perhaps know and heard about and use it, actually, I would think, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Why I have put this is it gives us the context of professional or personal development, the importance of personal development. I always say, well, usually by the time we are, I would say, in a way, observing, in fact, thank you for showing that video, Saurabh, because it's so illuminating, insightful to see how one learns, how one gets motivated, right? So the motivation, when I see my granddaughter, 1 year old granddaughter, I see that even she has reached this first 4 stages. Every time she does something, we have to clap. The clapping makes her, do something better. So that is esteem, right? Self-esteem, confidence, achievement, effect on others, etc. So it's only the last one. The self-actualization is something that we perhaps generally need to achieve from, I would let me for want of some other number, I would say from year 1 to till our end. Because all others, physiological, safety, love, esteem, and all of those I would say needs are generally, we are already aware of. It's the last one, that is the top one, the self-actualization. So all of us are here primarily for this purpose of self-actualization. So it's agreed that we all want to improve, we all want to move up in our career, in our life, etc. But the question is how? How do we do? I'm sure all of you as trainers are thinking about, how do I become a better trainer? How do I make my trainees learn better, improve themselves better? We talk about learning to learn, right? So how do we help them learn to learn? So the question of how, many times, including myself, I would say, we just leave it at the stage of thinking about it or ideating about it. Normally, we think about so many things. Oh, I feel I should improve. I think I should improve. But we never take action on how do we do it. Because action, I do run a business school. So in the MBA program, in innovation, everybody talks about ideas, right? Entrepreneurship, ideas are important. But one important thing is ideas are important. I would say execution is more important. All of us have excellent ideas, but many a times what differentiates a successful entrepreneur from a not so successful or a failed entrepreneur is the execution. So the action part. So it's important even here that if you want to improve, if you are looking at personal development, we are looking at continuous professional development, what do we do? How do we do? Simple. I would like to leave this simple message with each one of you that we all need to take charge and take some steps. We have to be in charge of this. So it begins with, according to me, which most people agree on, self-assessment. It's important that we assess our skills, our personality, and our interests. In fact, just to share my personal experience, my daughter keeps asking me, aren't you bored of teaching, mom? Aren't you bored of your career? You've been in this career for 40 plus years. But then I said, no, every day is a learning day for me. And I have been learning for the last 40 plus years. Before that also I was learning, but in a more formal setting. The reason I'm saying self-assessment is we need to understand two things. One is our interest, but interest alone is not enough. Well, I can say, well, I was interested in becoming, since Lata is here, Lata Suresh is there, she is a wonderful singer. I also wanted to be a singer. It's my interest, but I don't have the capability, the required skill sets to be a singer. So we need both. That is our interest and whether we have the competency. Saurav talked about competency building. So all of us have to do this self-assessment about whether we have the interest, whether we have the personality, and we have the skills. I'm sure most of you are using some of these personality assessment tests, etc. Of course, there are some criticism. There are different types of personality tests, the Big Five, the P16, and all of them. I would think, in my personal opinion, having used them, I feel that they are quite useful. So we need to take this personality test and see whether our interests and skill sets are aligned. And we should be continuously discovering. This is again a continuous process. Whether we have the strengths and the weaknesses. What are our strengths? What strengths do we have to align with our interests? And then goal setting. These are the things, first three steps that we need to take. And then comes on the fourth important step, as I mentioned earlier, the action. I'm sure all of you are familiar with this. I'm just trying to set the context for my talk about reflection.